We've had the huge privilege of hosting Hilary Mantel DBE talking to us and reading from the extraordinary trilogy concerned with the life of Thomas Cromwell.
There was in fact a sort of dark area, a moving black area at the centre of Henry's reign, or the way we narrate it to ourselves. And that moving area of darkness is Thomas Cromwell, who for 10 years is at the centre of policy making, of government, and vital to Henry's story.
Hilary is a guest of the firm because of Alison Levitt's doing, so we're very grateful to her too. And this is an event, along with other events the Academy is putting on for the benefit of the firm.
When I was 15 years old, a friend of my mother's came to stay with us for a while, and she was a very nice young woman. I liked her a lot, felt I could talk to her really easily. She and my mother had studied law together at university, but what this young woman really wanted to be was a writer, and while she was staying with us, she was submitting short stories to magazines and things like that. If we fast forward to the 6th of October 2009, I was almost exploding with pride to watch the same woman receive the Man Booker Prize for Wolf Hall.
There was no block. The man from Calais did not use one. She had been required to kneel upright with no support. One of her women bound a cloth across her eyes. She did not see the sword, not even its shadow. And the blade went through her neck with a sigh, easier than scissors through silk. Well, I've put a book together rather like a collage. I don't begin and write through sequentially. And obviously there's a difference between history's narrative and the order in which you might choose to tell it as a novelist.
In his chamber, the air is sharply scented, juniper, cinnamon. He takes off his orange coat. In the dimness of the room, shuttered against the afternoon, it blazes as if he handled fire.
The way you choose to place your emphasis, omitting or eliding one episode, stressing another. You might linger for 10 pages on the events of 5 minutes, and then you might elide a month. In the space between lines.
He tests the blade against his thumb. It's not the knife he made for himself when he was a boy. That was a good blade, and he misses it every day. Go and get Ambassador Chapuis, he says to Richard. My compliments to him, and may I give him supper? If he says no, tell him I feel a rage for diplomacy. Say I must have a treaty before sunset, and if he won't come, I'll fetch in the French ambassador instead.
There's an art of arrangement, and it doesn't always present itself in the best way first go through. So I like to leave things loose as far as I can, and I'll work intensively on one part of the book and then move on, writing always in scenes, and try to leave it as a kind of loose leaf arrangement that I can shuffle. Then in the final months, weeks, make the decisions that set it into place. The idea is not to write yourself into a cul-de-sac. Always be able to turn around and manoeuvre and have a rethink.
We had readings which addressed sex and death. All we needed was birth, and that would have completed the cycle of life. Perhaps we'll arrange that the next events of the Academy.